in the courtroom as I walked in shackled. It was a moment that I will never forget. I didn't have the language at the time. I didn't know about trauma at the time. I didn't know about mentorship. I was just trying to survive. Welcome to the Entrepreneurs in Recovery podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Harless. Entrepreneurs in Recovery is a place where people come to listen, to heal, to regulate, and remember. If this is your first time tuning into the show, welcome. We have amazing episodes coming up, amazing interviews. And today we're going to have an interview with me. It's going to be me in a solo episode because I want to share something that happened to me 20 years ago today. I was actually arraigned in a federal courtroom. And I was arraigned in a federal courtroom for my addiction to drugs and alcohol. And that was a real wake-up call for me. That was a time in my life where I knew I had to make some really big changes. So today's episode is about remembering that moment. My mom crying, my brother crying in the courtroom as I walked in shackled. It was a moment that I will never forget. I didn't have the language at the time. I didn't know about trauma at the time. I didn't know about mentorship. I was just trying to survive. This was a time where there was a little understanding. I didn't understand what sobriety meant. I lacked models. I lacked examples. And I didn't know about how to regulate emotions. So as this unfolded on this day 20 years ago, I was just really in a big place of awakening. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was learning in many ways, as you can say, the hard way. So with that opening, I want to share why this podcast exists. This podcast exists because I lacked the experience to be an entrepreneur. I lacked the experience of how to build businesses with entrepreneurs and leaders. I did have experience with sales. I did have experience with therapy and training and schooling, but I didn't know how to build a business. There wasn't someone in my family to show me. So this podcast you're listening to today is really born out of this labor of love where I wanted to go deeper in learning about how do people build lives? How do they go and create and be able to do things on their own? And so entrepreneurship for me became like a classroom. If you're listening to this podcast and you're wondering, why is this called Entrepreneurs in Recovery? What is this podcast about? Who is this person? Well, this is really my journey of learning about entrepreneurship. It's really my journey of learning about recovery and new definitions of recovery, because both of these were a huge, huge part of my journey. So that day, 20 years ago in the courtroom, didn't define who I am. It was really just a time for me to take responsibility, a time for me to wake up. And today, I'm still doing that. I'm still building. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And the best part is I'm learning about you. I'm learning about what you like and what you want as well, because that informs me on what the future of this podcast will be about. Who should I interview? Who are the people that I can walk this path with that could be really helpful as I continue to grow entrepreneurs in recovery? So today is a short episode where really you're just getting to know me a little better. 12/22/2025 and 12/22/2005. Those are two very significant dates. I'm really glad that you could join me for today's episode. We have so much coming up on the show. I'm really excited that you're staying tuned. This podcast exists because, one, now you know, it was my journey of service. It was my journey of exploring and learning about entrepreneurship, finding all kinds of amazing people I can interview that had some emotional regulation, some stability, mentorship, So I just want to really thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for listening. And I hope you all have an incredible day. Thank you for tuning in to Entrepreneurs Recovery today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Entrepreneurs Recovery podcast. I am so grateful you spent the time with us today. If you could take a minute to like and subscribe to the show on YouTube and leave a review on Spotify, iTunes, I would appreciate that. We have so many amazing guests, so many more amazing solo episodes to come. Thank you for tuning in.